Hello and welcome. I'm the Badger Reborn, and I'm going to talk about what I liked, disliked, and a few things that I'm in wait and see mode about in regards to the Wheel of Time trailer, as well as a few other show-related releases. This video contains spoilers for the Wheel of Time book series, and likely events of the TV show, though all I know for sure about the show is from the trailers and a few cast interviews. I'm going to start by playing the trailer and just giving some commentary as I go along, and then I'll mention a few other things at the end. With both this video and future videos talking about the TV show, I'm going to aim to be honest with my opinions, just whether it's things that I like or dislike. Just want to kind of present how I feel about it, and if that's something that you want to watch and enjoy, great. So let's get started. Obviously, it opens with a nice marine shot, and then White Tower. I don't really quite understand what's going on with swearing the oath, but we'll see about that. What I am intrigued by is the use of the one power and the weaves really after this trailer appearing to be all white. We'll see if that's the case. Maybe they just didn't edit the colors in, or maybe they are white. I'm pretty intrigued by that because the book doesn't really make it clear whether they do have colors or not usually. I usually pictured them having distinct colors in my head, and I think most other people do too, but they don't necessarily. So I'll get there to one of the first things I don't like, which is Swan's general appearance. The robe and the head thing kind of look absurd to me, just putting it out there. I think it's supposed to be like the seven striped stole, but it looks way too pastel-y and way too artsy, and just with the big shoulders and I don't know. It doesn't look like Swan to me. It doesn't look like something she would wear, and it looks frankly quite silly. I'm not a fan. The chest tattoo, fine. I don't really care either way about that, I guess. But not a fan of Swan's general clothing appearance. I do really love. This is one of my biggest things that I like about it is the cinematography. So like that shot right there of the mountain, like oh my gosh. Here we have the Dragon Reborn. Egwene. It looks incredible, right? Like, makes me think of Lord of the Rings and other shows that have just really amazing landscape shots, and that's something that I really love in movies and TV shows. And this and some other ones, and I'm sure there'll be lots more in the show, look absolutely incredible. You can tell it's real because it is real. It was shot in this actual location, and it looks so stunning. It just brings you there. And then the line of them all walking across, very cool. Okay, so the next thing that I love, which we're getting to a little bit, is the Shadow Spawn. Actually, let me come back to the Shadow Spawn. I want to discuss their clothing, because their clothing, it doesn't look like what I expected and envisioned, especially Rand's coat. But now that I think about it, it does actually look like what it should look like. It's not what I had in my head, but what I had in my head was not big woolen clothing. And this does look like something that's made of wool and that people probably would have worn when it's cold and they live in the mountains and they have sheep. Plus they grow sheep. Not exactly how it works. By the way, sorry if you can hear my computer fan. It's decided the computer is about 5 million degrees, I think. Okay, so so the Shadow Spawn. Oh my gosh, it's like maybe my favorite thing about the trailer. And really almost anything we've seen so far. The Trollocs look so good. All of them are unique looking in both the posters that they've shown and in the trailer. And it looks not just realistic, but better than I expected, which is really saying something, because I expected them, of course, I expected high expectations, them to look really great. And they're both huge, which I wasn't sure that they would be. And they actually look like a weird mix of animal and human and different animal parts. And they also look terrifying. Like, seeing Tam trying to fight one right there, I think it's Tam, is like, it's hard to see how he could possibly win. And that's going to be really interesting in the show, because I actually thought beforehand that they would scale them down to make it seem more realistic that humans could even kill them. But that doesn't seem to be the case. They're really big and scary looking, which is great. And the Murdraw also. It's not quite exactly how it's described in the book in terms of the eyes, but I think it looks really cool. Okay, let's keep going. So I'm not going to speculate too much on the differences in plot. I think one speculation I'll make is that the plot will be more different from the books than we expected. Which is, we'll see how it goes. One thing I am in wait and see mode about is the White Cloaks, and the fact that they look like they're maybe much more effective at capturing and killing Aes Sedai than they were in the books. Because in the books, they had never captured and killed one except for maybe one time in the history of the White Cloaks. I can't remember if it was once or zero. I think it was once. That's an incredibly poor success rate. But in the show, it's got those rings. If that's all for Aes Sedai that the White Cloaks have killed, that means they're really successful at it. And I don't know if I like that or not. In the books, it kind of made sense that Aes Sedai would be really careful about them, and they were just sort of a bumbling organization. But if that's changed in the show, I don't know how I feel about it. I mean, it certainly makes them more intriguing, villainish, gray organization. That's for sure. Eamon's Field looks good. I don't really care that the roofs are not thatched. I don't even know what thatch looks like. Trollocs look so good again. Waygate, I have a theory about the Waygate that there will be CGI leaves in the middle of it, but maybe not. We'll see. This action looks incredible. Everything with Logain looks good so far, I think. The Aiel, cinematically wonderful. Just absolutely stunning. So I'm really, really excited for November 19th. Really excited. And that's about wraps up that. So one thing that wasn't in the trailer I wanted to mention was an interview with Barney where he talks about his parents not having money, and that he kind of mentioned that he's conflicted about it. It informs his character a lot in different ways in the books. Clearly, they're not the same parents that they were in the books, not the same family that they were in the books. And I'm in wait and see mode about that. I don't love the change on his face, but I can certainly see why it would have been made and why it would add a little bit more depth and a little bit different backstory to Matt than what Perrin and Rand have. So I certainly think, number one, that it is true, that it will happen. And then also I can certainly see why it might be an improvement for the show, at least just to sort of like flesh out and differentiate the three boys, which is a criticism that a lot of readers have with the books. Another thing that wasn't fully in the trailer is the music for the show. There have been several tracks released that will be in the show by the composer Lorne Balfe. Not sure if I'm pronouncing that right, but I don't like them. I'm just gonna say it. I think they're pretty bland. Well, not bland. They're certainly unique, but they're just boring and not what I was hoping for. So hopefully those will be like my least favorite. But I really love soundtracks. I listen to them all the time from all kinds of movies and shows. I just saw the movie Eternals and listened to its soundtrack like 5 times since then, 2 days ago. And these songs just aren't doing it for me. I don't like listening to them. I zone out before they even end. They're like not even 5 minutes long. I'm hoping that's not what it's like for the whole show. At least maybe just for season 1 and not onwards. One other thing I don't like is the logo. I cannot get over the fact that it just looks bad with everything. It's just like gray and doesn't look natural on top of anything that they superimpose it over. But I doubt that's going to change at this point. Probably going to be the logo we go forward with, which is fine. It's at least a snake biting its own tail, essentially, sort of, which makes sense with the story and fits in there.
That about wraps up my thoughts. I don't want to get too into the weeds because we have plenty of actual show to talk about that. I hope to make weekly breakdowns of each of the episodes of the show, or I guess maybe 3 right at the beginning. We'll see if that's fun and if I like doing it and if people like watching. If so, I'll try and do it. Other than that, also plan to keep making book-related videos. I have one that I've got in mind, started working on a little bit about the character I think has the best and most underrated arc in the series. That being, well, I'll save that for the video. I hope everyone's looking forward to November 19th. If you're not, whatever, fine. But if you are, I'm going to watch it. I hope we have a great time enjoying a really great show. We'll see how it goes. Please give this video a like and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Also, if you want to subscribe to my Patreon, that'd be cool. I really appreciate the people that do. It's really great to have their support. I hope you all have a great week, and I will see you next time.
Like a bird on a tree, I'm just sitting here